Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, All That Is. We are here once again with Melissa. Melissa, are you able to hear me?
I am.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure that we have our audio and everything good. Yeah, we are back from a bit of a break, but I just wanted to welcome Melissa back to the show before I give you guys a more detailed description of Melissa's work. Hi, Melissa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Raquel. Hi, everybody. So glad to be here. So excited.
I am too. Wow, it's been a while, right? We both took a bit of a break, and you've got stuff going on, and I've got stuff going on, and so it's been a synchronized break, if you will. And this is my first show back from Adelaide, so it's good to be back home. And yeah, I'm feeling very, very excited about our conversation today. And as we move through the show, we would like to engage with the audience. And as we have done in the past, Melissa would like to give out mini psychic medium readings to our audience. And so as we engage with people in the chat, we'll do this in a little while and answer those questions and get to know you guys more in the chat. So welcome to the show, everybody. It's so great to be here with you once again. And today we are talking about that bridge to new earth. So that's the topic of our conversation today. How do you feel about that, Melissa?
I am so excited about this one. This is what we've been working toward. This is a piece of what we've been working toward for years and decades. And um, it's coming to pass. It's coming into our truth, into our consciousness more than ever. And I am thrilled to be able to talk about it and continue to learn more about it, actually.
Yeah, it's like a moving target, isn't it? There's so much happening on so many layers, and so it's really interesting how things are unfolding within our reality, because it's not a physical development, let's say. It's on so many different levels. It involves correcting karmic debts. It involves clearing our own energy field. It involves the physical aspect of our living situation, our living conditions, and it's that 3D world connecting to that 5D world, hence the gap between, or bridging that gap between these two worlds. And so we are sort of bringing in all of those permutations and combinations and trying to shine a light on all of these aspects of that ascension process, if you will, from all of these different aspects of our being, whether it's physical, whether it's etheric, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, so there's so many different layers to this. So yeah, it's very, very exciting for me to be on this trajectory, on this ascension journey with you and with everybody else. So it's an awakening on many different levels, and so it's always good to find folks that are speaking your language, so to speak, and be able to talk about these things, and compare notes and share knowledge and share wisdom about what's happening, in your experience, in my experience, and then we come together and talk about it. So yeah, I'm really so happy about the way things are unfolding on so many different levels. Do you feel
Yeah.
that as well?
Oh, yes. Like you said, I just could feel it tingling in me, so many different levels that we almost don't even have words for them as all the years we've been trying to learn and grow and help each other, help ourselves, like learn how to do this ascension process. And I'm seeing so many layers of pieces where there are almost like doors opening up as that bridge and foundation comes into balance. And in that, we remember who we are, our sovereignty. And what I think is cool, I've been noticing and observing in the last few weeks, the cool part about cleansing and clearing our generational lines, our tribal lines, our lines. And they're also coming into balance and stability, and we're having a wider perspective of everything we've been through yesterday, tomorrow, now. and it just feels really cool. But yeah, like you said, so many aspects and layers of this that it'll be like we might have to do a trilogy show.
Yeah, yeah,
it, and
absolutely.
do it a few
Absolutely.
times because this is going to be so fun.
No, I love it. I love it. And it's going to be an ongoing theme for me as well because I don't know if I shared this with you, but since I got back, well, it sort of started when I was in Adelaide, but I've been working with the Lyrens and I'm building a series that's going to be the next course that I'm building, and this is going to be called The Bridge to New Earth. So it's like a progression from my previous series, which was connecting to your higher self. And so this is the next level, the next octave to that progression, if you will. And so the Lyrens have come in and decided to help me with that next course module, if you will. I don't know if it's going to be 11 modules like the previous one, but I'm still developing that. And so this is going to be the theme for the next little while in my work as well, this bridge to the new earth. And it's showing up even in the grid work missions that we've planned, you know. And so the one that's coming up, and we'll talk about this later as well, but the next gridwork mission, we are targeting the emotional body of not only humans, but also the collective. And so that's a very, very strong layer, if you will, within this bridge to the new earth. And so we are slowly but surely unraveling all of these distortions, all of the things that have been standing in our way, that have been blocking us as humans during this ascension process. And so we're not only doing the work within ourselves, but we're also, by doing that work within ourselves, we are helping the collective. And so, I have this saying from Yeshua, and I think that was very poignant for this show today. And in the last, I believe it was the transmission in July, where he said, "Every soul that awakens adds another light to the collective." And so it's a collective movement. It's not just an individual movement. And so the way he showed it to me was like a candle being lit in the dark. And so the more candles that are lit within that enclosure, within that room, or within the collective, that light becomes that much more brighter. And so the more light we develop, the more light we accrete within our own being, it ripples out into the collective. So I thought that was really quite beautiful and in showing me how, you know, our, I guess, healing our own body, healing our own light is affecting the collective. So I thought that was really beautiful to bring forth in, as a teaching, if you will, for today's show. And he is my greatest teacher. So I thought that was really useful.
That is beautiful and wonderful. Thank you. Like that, I could feel it. I could taste it. I could experience it as you were speaking it, and the lights going on, and the lights, the flame getting a little bit bigger in us as we are healing and working on ourselves. And I've also been noticing and truly trying to look in the mirror to the best of my ability about the emotional body. And I've also been feeling the Lyrens.
Right.
And I haven't been chatting like you have, like you've been interacting, but I've been feeling them, and they are so helpful and wonderful. And I'm kind of liking this cleansing and clearing into the core of who we are in that emotional body. I think that's one of the most wounded things throughout history of for humanity and our collective. So I'm real excited because I feel like we've come a long way, baby, and
Yes, we have.
we're going a little further and getting stronger and stronger, and it feels really strong in that strength, and that the next step and the next step, personally and with each other, is truly bridging that gap to that 5D in just surprisingly cool ways. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you an example. Um, just before I left Adelaide, and I had no plans when to come back. Like I hadn't set a date when I was coming back. I was just like, yeah, okay, 6 months down the line, I left in January and I was like, I didn't have anything keeping me here in Vancouver. So I thought, okay, my family needs me, I'll go and spend, 6 months or whatever. But as we came to when this when I was called back, I was given a specific date, Melissa, when I was to come back. I was told by Yeshua and my guides, you have to be back in Vancouver by June 6th. I was like, wow, that's really specific. And I never doubt my guidance, and that's something that I've learned over the last perhaps 10 years of me interacting with these guides. So I trusted that, and I surrendered to it. And I said, okay, I booked my ticket, and I was here by the 4th of June. And I won't tell you what happened, but things happened that I could not have done if I had been in Adelaide, like could not have taken care of if I was in Adelaide. And so by surrendering to that, I came here, I was able to do all the things that I could do from this place, from Vancouver, from my home, that I would not have been able to do in Adelaide. And so there's this invisible hand, if you will, that's guiding us, that we don't always trust. And so it's a surrendering, that it's very hard to trust and to surrender, but trust I did and surrender I did. And, things unfolded in the most beautiful way. And so I think it's important to be able to do that, when you're on this ascension journey, to be able to just say, okay, I'm just trusting in the Creator, I'm trusting in my guides and in the guidance that I receive, and just go with the flow, and stop resisting. So yeah, I thought that was really beautiful, and how things unfolded, even though it was challenging, the circumstances around what happened, but I would not have handled it in any other way, or seen it unfolding in any other way. So yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm giggling because I just moved. And my plans, like it has been nothing like I planned. And I'm giggling because of my resistance. I hit a super rough patch in my own self with resistance and being stubborn and forgetting to trust. And so in doing that, I'm like, this is the best thing that ever happened. Um, when I'm seeing the results after, I mean, maybe crying and having a few extra hard moments. And like you said, um, it really was the divine plan and that you were given the date and you were given these things. I didn't listen to mine. So I had to be a little bit of a hockey puck of a person and go and bounce a little bit and realign in my journey. And I'm so grateful to be here where I'm meant to be. And I'm starting to feel new um, remembrance or new missions, new purposes, and how I can do things a little bit differently and better and stay in alignment. I hope that makes sense. And
Yeah.
in this ascension process, and hopefully be even better for um, others in work and things like that. And I'm real excited for everybody. Like I feel like we can't, even if we've tripped up a little bit, like I have, I feel like we can't mess this up. Like this is the biggest shift, change, growth,
Yeah.
um, and solidifying the bridge that we've ever known throughout history, ever.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. And the way I look at it is, whatever is not in alignment just falls away, you
Yep.
know, whether it's relationships, whether it's, place that you're living in. For me too, that was a bit unstable when I came back here, I had to deal with some things about my living situation as well. So it's like, you go through these shifts, these changes, and it's like, you have to find your groove in a way, and figure out what is in true alignment with your soul. And so these these sort of shifts and changes happen because of that. And so anything that is not in alignment with that true soul purpose will fall away, whether it's difficult, whether it's easy, you will
Mhm.
be confronted with it. And, if you're not able to handle it at this time, then it'll be a softer landing.
Yep.
And if you bring it to the creator or to your guides and say, you know what, this is too hard for me right now, I cannot handle it, and you just surrender again, that word surrender, just surrender to it and say, look, this is too hard for me to handle right now, can you help me land more softly, or pave the path so that it's not so difficult for me. And believe you me, it happens. You will be shown a softer path, a softer landing, a more graceful way forward in dealing with these difficult situations. So, yeah, I think we are all being challenged in different ways and shown
Mhm.
that, certain things are not in alignment. And so we are being asked to basically pull the plug on these situations and realign with what truly makes sense for the next, few years coming up and how that's going to unfold. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. There's no judgment, um there's no need to feel that resistance or, blame and shame and that sort of thing. Just take it in
Yes,
your
exactly.
stride and just keep moving forward, keep moving forward, and just embrace all of those changes that are happening in your life, and know that you are safe, know that you are protected, and that these things are happening for a reason. So I strongly believe that, yeah.
That's what I've been receiving from my teams, my guides, guardian angels, my higher self, Jesus, and everybody that's ever met me knows I have talked to Mother Mary for a billion years as well.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Will you guys hold me?" I don't know. I'm not listening. I can't tell. When we've all been confused, and I think that's important to say today too. Like we've all been confused and sort of beaten down, and we can't remember how or what to do on occasion in our lifetimes. And so I agree. Hang on, keep going, and ask source, ask your teams for a little gentler, a little bit of a different perspective, so that you can perceive it better, differently, easier right
Hmm.
now,
Hmm.
and they'll walk us right through it. This beautiful in beautiful ways. I'm so surprised, and in readings as well, watching other people and doing some of the readings, and just um, watching them, each person go through different things. The surprising, wonderful, good stuff right in the middle of the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost like the divine universe rescue mission says, "Hey, I'm not going to leave you behind and on the ground by
Yeah.
yourself. That's not at all. So
Yeah.
hold on. Let me get you a band-aid and kiss the boo-boo." And it just feels like it's kind and wonderful and loving. And so it's just surprising and good. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. It's beautiful. Well, you have to remember we are going through a cycle that's 26,000 years. So, try to wrap your head around that for a second. And through all of that, we've been under some really heavy deceptions, not only from the government and, the ones in charge, but, we've had infiltration from outer worldly entities as well that have pulled the blinders over us and, dealt us some really bad shit, so to speak. And so we're having to deal with all of that and come to terms with all of this from a vantage point where we are at a huge disadvantage. And so it's like 100-fold harder for us to do this as compared to, say, when you think back to perhaps how Yeshua and Mary Magdalene went through their ascension, or, the Egyptian times when they went through their ascensions, like, Isis and Hathor and all of these beings. So, they had places where they could go to and worship and be that holy, sacred being that they wanted to be. And, the environment that they were in was suitable for ascension, even though they were living among, say, for example, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, they lived with the Romans and, that conflict. But still, they had places where they could go to and just be sacred and be holy and connect with the Creator. There isn't that anymore, not to that level of being sacred or being so purely connected to the creator, let's say, yes, you can do it in your home, you can do it in your heart, but it's not practiced in a collective way, let's say. So yeah, so we are coming to that stage, but in very very baby steps, we're coming there, we're getting there, but it's taking us a very long time to first of all come to terms with what has taken place, and then we are now being asked to do this at breakneck speed. So it's like, okay, there's only so much I can take on. And so we are stepping into being, this very 3D brain to now being interdimensional beings. And, we are thrown into this highway of being on that universal highway, if you will. And so it's like, yeah, your head is spinning from, first of all, just moving from this 3D world to becoming, universal citizens, if you will, right? So
Mhm.
it's very, very interesting. It's very exciting, but at the same time, it could be scary too, if you're just waking up and, just becoming aware of what's happening. So there are many levels of ascension. There are still people that are very much fast asleep and don't want to have anything to do with this, right? And so they want to go back into just being comfortable where they were and, just shutting the door and saying, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about this. Um, and that's okay. And that's okay too, You're just going to take the scenic route back home.
Yeah. And we don't have to be just like each other. We don't have to use the same words
No.
or like actually have the same path or like the same colors or like the same kind of car on our path either. Um, I remember years and years ago, I've lived in Sedona off and on for most of the last, it's almost like 9 or 10 years, but it started in like 12, 13 years ago when I came here to live the first time. And I remember I made friends easily and similar, perspectives and soul friends, soul mates and soul families. And I remember us talking real specifically, like, well, because I love the skies all my life. It's not about just UFOs. I love the stars, the skies, the cosmos all my life since I was a little kid. And we were talking, a friend group of mine, and we were like, yeah, it's just going to be kind of galactic. And we're going to navigate through and it's sort of like, hopefully not like Star Wars where they had to have the resistance and all these different sides, but a little bit like Star Trek, which is my favorite, where we're like, yes, we're going out there to figure out, the different types of beings and different races of people and thought and consciousness and expansion. And is this the only universe? Is there more? And all these things. And I just, with all my heart, knew that that was true. We're going to be a little bit cosmic, a little bit galactic, and we're going to learn. And I remember meditating and praying then, because my place is Sedona, that gives me that connection with God, the beauty, the earth, the skies, all of it. Um, and my answer was remember to love each client for an hour, love them even if you don't really care for them, and remember to have compassion and not judge each other, and yet maintain some discernment about the distortions. And right now we're sort of like, I don't know, chin deep in some distortions where people are going against each other and mad and pointing and whatever it may be, which could be in their different energies, the layers. And I am excited because this is when we get to go, hey, wait a minute. I grew up down the street from you. I don't really like you that much, but I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to judge you. And let's high five. And we're in this together. And so I'm seeing that starting to unfold a little bit too, as as we're doing that and being part of the bridge to the new. I hope I'm making sense, and just remember for myself, remembering to try not to judge anyone. I know I say something a little bit ridiculous off kilter, like call someone a noodle or something like that every once in a while, like that noodle. And so that's about as, vile as I get or scary as I get. But to not really judge and to look in the mirror and go, whew, I don't know what they're going through. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but this is beautiful because I hope they find their freedom from this pain, whatever it may be, and that humanity might not ever have to see some of that extra vile stuff, that abomination that we were all wrapped up in the
Yeah.
um, inverted energies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it. I love that you're shining a light on that. And don't like I don't see it as a negative, like each of us has our own quirks and our own personality, like even I'm like that, I'm a Sagittarian, so I'm very direct and I can say things and fly off the handle, I shoot with an arrow, so I cut through the bullshit and I go straight to the heart, and so sometimes people don't like that, and so I get into trouble for that, but to me that's like the straight route to getting and achieving what I want to get done, and so sometimes if it comes out as a harsh word, and then I apologize and keep going from there, but people who know me know that there's no how do I say this, there's no ill will in what I say or do, I
Ever.
I'm
I don't
I'm
think you could have ill will if you wanted to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. But I work from the heart, and having worked with these interdimensional beings now for a while, I've come to the understanding that no matter where you go, you cannot hide from them. They see everything, and so it's
That's the
like,
truth.
yeah, and so it's like, and that in itself is a work in progress, so that forces you to look at your shadow and work out all those kinks in your own being, and so it's a self-reflective study by itself, and so you know, these last few years have been pretty much that for me. It's been a self-reflective study and a correcting and alignment, and just working with these beings, getting all of that wisdom downloaded into my system, and looking at myself from that perspective. So, that in itself has been a huge a work, if you work internal work, if you will, of just clearing all of that garbage that we've mounted and mounted upon ourselves, whether through belief systems or ancestral karma, whatever it is, we
Mhm.
have to look at ourselves from all of these different perspectives and try to put ourselves in different shoes and look at ourselves and say, this is what I look like, from Melissa's perspective, or this is what I look like from Yeshua's perspective, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh my God, yes, I have to change. And so you go into yourself and you in meditation and you root out all of that, that's not in alignment, or, that's causing all of these things to come into your life and cause that disruption, right? So yeah, so it's been a huge learning curve, but at the same time, it's given me so much growth, and expansion. It's truly incredible, to step into these shoes and navigate as this, interdimensional aspect of myself, if you will. So it's a lot of fun.
It is, isn't it? You're right. The interdimensional um, learning, getting in the flow in the different interdimensional omniverse ways. Um, it can be super weird and awesome at the same time, but you cannot run from anything yourself or anything else. And that's pretty cool. And I like you the way you are. I like you when you are willing to go, Melissa, please look at this. Like you're going around in a circle. Like, and I like your Sagittarius parts. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah,
being
I
you
get
and
into
being
trouble a
able
lot
to
with
tell the
that.
truth. Yeah.
Sorry.
I said, thank you for being you and being able to tell the crystal clear truth. Um, uh, always. And again, you could have bad intention if you wanted to. Like you came here to love
Oh,
and
thank you.
and and be helping us all. So, and me too. And I'm in Aries, and I get myself in more trouble than you do. So, our fire sign
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. It's interesting, right? When you look at it from all these different layers. Yeah, we'll have to dig into that one day.
It's
The
cool. I
the
like
s-
it.
the star seed and the star sign and the astrological side of things. So yeah,
Ooh,
that's
that'd be
another
fun.
layer, right? Like we said, there's so many different layers in how we can look at this. So yeah, it's really beautiful. So let's give a shout out to the audience. I haven't had any questions in the chat yet. So welcome everybody who's watching here today.
Hi,
Thank you
everyone.
for being here. And yeah, if you want to put your comments in the chat, if you have any burning questions, or if you would like Melissa to do a mini um, reading for you, a psychic medium reading, please go ahead and put your question in the chat box. And yeah, if you can give Melissa a name, I think that brings a little more clarity to her reading for you. I know that's worked for us in the past, and so I think the minimum information she needs is probably a name and your sexual orientation. I think that helps her a lot. So there you go. And yeah, if you appreciate this conversation, and if you're liking what you're hearing, put a big like on this video and share it with anybody who you think might appreciate this content. So, that helps me out with the channel. And as many of you know, I have not been as consistent as I would like to be on YouTube, which is another story. And so I'm trying to resurrect my channel once again. So all the help I can get is truly, truly appreciated. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, so I have a little something I wanted to share as well from Mary Magdalene this time.
Mhm.
And I've been working with Mary Magdalene now for a few years. I've got quite a few of her discourses on my YouTube channel. And she said during one of her, and this caught my eye today when I was just going through some of the old material, and she talks about the shift in our consciousness. And so she says, as societal systems shift and fall away, always return to your heart. This
Mm.
is your anchor. This is your compass. That is your bridge back to the Creator. So I thought that was really beautiful because she works with timelines, she works with children, and she works with Yeshua in navigating all of these difficulties, if you will, that we encounter as we move from this reality to the next, right? And so all of the meditations, all of the wisdom that I have received from her has always come back to that spark within the heart chakra, and her focus has always been heart centered, and illuminating that heart chakra and aligning that heart coherence, if you will, with the rest of the body, but also aligning it through your higher self to make that direct connection to the Creator through your heart center. And so that helps you to be grounded in whatever it is you're going through, the start of your day, the end of your day, just connect back to that energy, or even during the day, and that will just clear up any and all hardships that you might encounter. So she has truly helped me to navigate many, many difficult situations just by doing this very simple thing, connecting to the energy of your heart and just sparking that energy and just acknowledging that connection to the Creator. And that's like a direct hotline, if you will, to the Creator. That's how I see it. It's like you always have that connection to the Creator, and that is your anchor. That is a way of saying, yes, I am connected to the Creator. And so tuning into your heart is like immediately calling the Creator and saying, hello, here I am. So I thought that was beautiful. So I thought I would bring that in and just share that.
That is so beautiful. This is ironic, Raquel. I was working as I woke up. I'm like, okay, I need to stay grounded and balanced, and not scattered, during moving and trying to, correct things and all kinds of stuff I can. totally jump over my own balance and jump out of my heart connection. And I got not the depth that you did, but I got that message this morning. And I got to remember all of us are receiving. We seem to feel it, hear it, all the clairaudience, clairvoyance, all those things we see, hear, feel. But it's all coming from our connection with the Creator, from our heart. So I had my eyes closed and was kind of meditating, and I could see, you know, the it's almost like fuchsia pinks, like hot pink. And I thought, oh, that's me. Okay, that's me. Yeah. And it's something I'd been forgetting to check in myself. So
I
I got
think,
some very similar information this morning, and it is awesome because it really made all the difference in the whole world. And you know what? It kind of almost helped me in my just my form, my person, my beings, my way to scoot up higher in the higher frequencies and stay stable and aligned there throughout the day. So let's do it now. Let's ask that we all kind of just recognize our heart chakra and um, and ask that Mary Magdalene please help us stay aligned and stabilized in our heart chakra and in every level and every layer and all time and space of who we are. Beautiful.
yeah, it works every time. So the way I do it is just imagining that spark in the middle of your chest, the heart chakra, just igniting that spark, that golden spark of energy, and just expanding, expanding, expanding it into your body, your, the entire width and breadth of your body. And then just shooting that knowing, if you will, from your heart all the way up, all the way up, all the way up through the crown, as high as you can go. And then just inviting your higher self to complete that circuit and reach that energy of the Creator. And so you're extending that light from your heart, that golden light, and completing that circuit, if you will, as it connects to the energy of the Creator. And then you feel that almost like a tingling, if you will, when that circuit is complete, and you feel that energy coming back into your heart, and it's like electrified, and that circuit is complete. And so you sit there in that energy for a few moments and just feel that connection, that conversation, that communion between yourself and the Creator. And so it's always beautiful, very, very beautiful.
That communion, that union, that communion. Yeah, I'm seeing the pinks again. That's a sign for me. But I think everybody on the show or anyone that listens to it later might see some good signs of that that are just right for them, whether it's pink energy or the whatever it may be for them, and that peace and different moments in their days upcoming. It was really beautiful. Thank you, Raquel. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about ways in which we can smooth or soften that transition, if you will, from the 3D to the 5D. How do you see us moving forward and just bridging that gap in a more graceful manner? Because what I'm seeing is that it's basically two large dramas that are happening simultaneously. One is this 26,000 cycle that I told you about, and the other, well, three really, if you look at it. The other one is us coming to terms with that drama, that cycle. And the other is the evacuation, if you will, of these beings that have held us hostage. So that in itself is a big drama. And so it's like once these beings are removed from the earth plane, there's this vacuum that has been left by them. And so that needs to be filled by us, essentially, but we are being asked to fill that space quite quickly. But at the same time, we don't necessarily have all the tools to be in that mindset, if you will, to take on the reins. And so that is a learning curve for us as well. And so we are being asked to change quite swiftly in order to be able to fill these roles, but to also understand this larger drama, right? And so the way I see it is working from the inside out. And so we have to, first of all, work on ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, in order to be in that state where we can stand in our sovereignty and say, okay, I'm ready to take on all of these challenges. And so I think that's important for us to do, first of all, on a physical level, on a mental level, on an emotional level, to detoxify, to upgrade our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body. And so I think that's one of the ways to move forward purely, right?
Very much so. And to add to that, if I may, I've been really thinking actually for 6 months, like, how do I get, this is how I say it to myself, at least. How do I get myself out of the addiction
Mm-hmm.
to fear and the way things used to be and the false light aspects that were all imprinted upon us and things like that. So the addiction to, I want to feel like I used to when I felt okay. And then looking over our shoulder and analyzing it. So as an overthinker over here, I catch myself overthinking and then accidentally like grabbing onto or focusing on the negatives too long, and thus making it harder for it to be released. So so I am asking, how can we let go of the addiction to the stuff? And like you said, we really have to cope with everything that was done to us. We've all been violated and had losses and suffering like never before. Excuse me. But how can we come out of that place where it's around us, in us, and we're remembering that instead of remembering who we are and remembering what does make us happy, even if we can't remember right now. And so every time I ask, I go, okay, look, I'm in focusing or thinking or listening to that one person over there, that over there. And it's been pulling me down a little bit. Not that they are, but I'm allowing that on accident because that's all I've known. And, how can I relearn and almost like get addicted to being in my pure divine alignment and pure divinity, like my Christos self, and remember what I came here for.
Mm-hmm.
How can I help? What can I do today? Small, large? Do I need to just pick up that piece of trash off the ground? I'm in. I'll do that. Or is it big? Can I help somebody hold someone's hand through something?
Yeah, I think it's baby steps, and I think the first big step comes with awareness, and I think that's the biggest step, being aware of what's taking place and gaining knowledge, gaining understanding, gaining wisdom of the where, the how, the why, the when, the who, of how and what is happening, And so gaining that understanding, becoming aware of where it is you stand, how it is you stand, and how you fit into this larger a puzzle, if you will, And so coming to terms with that, I think is really, really important. And not engaging with fear. I think for me, the beginning stages of my awakening, I was so wrapped up in fear. And I worked on that first and foremost, because my engagement, if you will, or my awakening, I was thrown in the deep end, and I was like, my first exploration or revelation, if you will, was to be engaged with the Draco. And so I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And for me, I had never ever engaged with the ETs, or, these never came into my reality. I didn't have any understanding of this. And so I was thrown into the deep end. And So there was a lot of fear involved. And so that was the first thing that I got rid of, in my reality, in my understanding. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be scared of these beings. I've got all of these guides, all of these ascended masters in my corner. And so I'm going to step forward in that awareness, in that sovereignty, and stand in my truth, because they threatened, in a way, in their understanding or in their way of, how do I say this, in their power to try and control me, to say, okay, we're going to kill you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to harm you. And so I was like, no way, I'm a sovereign being. You cannot, take my light away from me, And so fear was the first thing that I confronted. And so baby steps, it's baby steps in becoming aware of who you are and what it is you are made up of, understanding your path, your mission, your soul essence is truly important. And it's not going to happen in a day, it's not going to happen in an hour. So take those baby steps, sit in meditation, and little by little, you will get to know yourself, you will get to know your strengths, you will get to know what you are made of and what your mission is. And so, yeah, again, that thing of judgment comes into play. Don't judge yourself, be calm, be patient with yourself. And so, yeah, I think that would be my advice.
Yeah. Really well said on that one. Like, don't judge yourself, because that's where I get stuck sometimes. And I see other people as well. And we've probably all been there. And then, and that, yeah, what a weird thing to be thrown into. Like, right. Like, boom, here's the Draco. They're mind twisty. They're creepy. And guess what? A lot of them are gone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I think we
And I'd
can all
like to
work
think I
on
had something to do with that because I've been working really, really hard on the grid work missions to, um, you know, quietly and calmly get them off planet. So I would like to take some
it.
responsibility for that happening. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but they have deviated from their true soul's path. And so it's like, okay, you've done your damage now, walk back towards the light of the Creator and try to, align back to your soul's purpose in the way it was meant to be. They've
Yeah.
taken the scenic route for way too long.
On purpose. They
On
kept going
purpose.
around in circles on the we have a whole lot of traffic circles here, and where the traffic circles, and the like a block later is another traffic circle, and you can go the different directions, and I'm always like, oh, um but they were on the traffic circles just living it up, not
Yeah.
letting the rest of us in on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, you have done a lot. And we know some really heavy hitters, strong, beautiful earth angel, starseed, divine light workers that have been working on that too. And
Yeah.
and me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. No,
so,
we're all doing
so
our work. We're all doing our
excited.
part, right? Like once we come to that understanding, then it's like, okay, this is my mission. This is what I need to do. And you will be guided, as to what you can do and what you have the ability to do. And so, I've taken on that mantle and I've helped as much as I could, so, and I'm stronger for it. And, I've gained so much wisdom in doing that kind of work, right? So yeah, it's really beautiful. Let's just take a break from this chat for a moment and acknowledge Frosted Fluke in the chat. Good evening. Thank you both for being here, sharing your knowledge, energy, and light. I've only caught the last 10 minutes or so, but it has been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, Frosted Fluke. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to be having this conversation with Melissa. It feels good to be talking to somebody who understands what I'm saying, and I'm able to reflect all of these thoughts, all of these developments around this ascension timeline, if you will. So it's really beautiful to have this conversation with you, Melissa, and I appreciate it.
Mm, likewise, my friend. Likewise. Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't
and
that
go ahead.
cool whenever we get to, in our lifetimes, and especially in the last years, just connect, even if we don't know them, we're not going to ever sit by them again, cross paths with someone that we can deeply, that hears us, that knows us. And
Hmm.
I think there's more of that for all of us in the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I just want to say this as well too, as we progress and as we move into that higher dimensional aspect of ourselves, we are changing on a physical level as well. Going back to galactic history and how Gaia or the Earth used to vibrate. At one point, she was a seventh dimensional being, and so she was, very close to being within that crystalline energy and vibrating at a really, really high frequency resonance, right? And so, after the fall, after the invasions, the Earth was brought down to a 3D level from a 7D level of vibrating. And so we have been living within that very dense energy of the 3D, right, for many, many thousands of years. And so now we are being asked to step up and move back into those higher frequency resolution mode, if you will. And so as we shift gears and as we move into that higher level of vibrating, our body is changing. We are moving from a carbon-based DNA to a crystalline-based DNA. And so, our very being, our very DNA is changing. And so, we have to take all of that into our stride as well, as we shift, as we move, as we upgrade um, all of this. And so, I think it's important to remember that, and this is being done by default as well, for us. Like the way I see it is that if you are able to accrete enough light into your body, um, you are then automatically upgraded to vibrating as perhaps a crystalline body or a plasma body. And a plasma body is that 7D
Mhm.
existence, if you will, right? So as we move between these realities within our own body, we are dancing, if you will, within these frequencies. We're testing the waters. Okay, what does it feel like to be a crystalline body? Or what does it feel like to be a plasma body? So as we bathe in this light that's streaming down from the photon belt within which we are transitioning right now, we are being offered that opportunity to test those waters, if you will. And that's why it's important to get rid of all of those things that have been part of our existence, that karmic energy, that the shadow body, the all of the gunk
Mhm.
we've been collecting over thousands of years. So the more of that we release, the more light we allow into our body for us to be able to raise ourselves to those higher states of consciousness, right? To be a crystal body or a plasma body and move into those higher octaves of existence. So I think it's important to keep that in mind. It's like, shooting for the stars and saying, okay, that's my target, being a 7D being, right? And if you end up being a 5D being, then yay, you've mission accomplished. So yeah, so I think it's important to keep all of these things in the back of your mind as you move through this ascension and, deal with all of the things on a physical or a mental or an emotional level and say, okay, this is what I'm shooting for.
I think that's really important. And when we were talking about, we didn't discuss it, but we were like, hey, let's have this be the topic today. And um, I also wanted to mention that crystalline body and the adjustments that are being happening for all of us right now. And it could feel overwhelming. Like, am I getting sick? Is there something wrong with me? It's part of the process. And I have also been seeing real profoundly in this. I think it's part of the same process, but I don't know maybe the correct words or how to say it any better. Um, but our DNA and alignment in our spines are being realigned. And so remember how all the years we were only using just a little bit and the rest of it was junk DNA. Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not.
We just don't understand it all. And we were in the past unplugged and all that kind of stuff. Some of that in the etheric and in our physical form is being realigned and
Calibrated.
assembled, recalibrated. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that has to do with the flow. And like you called it the circuit a little while ago when we were doing our heart um, connection with source, and all the circuits are being scrubbed out a little bit. So if we feel like we need a little bit more rest, or if it's too much, we can go, hey, I need a little, little bit more of this, or gentler, like you said. But I think that's really going to be profound right now. The crystalline body energy recalibrating, realigning, reforming after
Mhm.
so many gazillions of years in the Kali Yugas and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Yeah, it's very, very exciting, isn't it? To be stepping into that quantum reality, if you will. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, just
You know,
sorry, go ahead.
when I see that, when all the, like we were talking about, so many aspects of ascension, and clearly humanity's not like, all right, we're ready, we're perfect, we're 100%.
Yeah.
Um, but we're working on all the different aspects, and we're like, oh, I didn't even think of it that way. Um, and I really think each of us in correct right timing, like I think it's coming whether we like it or not. And we're going to learn and keep learning and walking forward. And each time, each aspect that we perceive or expand in, I see it build an actual bridge, like a rainbow bridge, and rebuild our systems,
Hmm.
universal systems
Yeah.
that were overtaken by dark things, or wounded, or whatever. And I see it being built back in those beautiful lights, the colors, the frequencies, in a big, 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 profound way as well. So I love this bridge thing a
Yeah,
lot.
I love it. I love it. And you hit the nail on the head because we are, and I use different words, but it's the same concept, of what you were just talking about. It's the recalibration of the architecture that was destroyed, the energetic architecture that was destroyed. And so with our own intentions, with our own recalibration, we are helping the collective, Gaia, in alignment with Gaia, we are helping to rebuild that architecture, if you will, so that, those bridges are built back again. Because when you think about it, and I'm going a little more advanced now, and I was just talking about this recently with the Indy and my interview with Indy, and her work is so beautiful, so expansive.
Mhm.
So what she talks about is that twin reality or twin connection, if you will, between Earth and Venus. And so we were existing as twin planets, and since the severing and since the fall of Earth, Earth has degraded to that 3D reality, if you will, whereas Venus has upgraded to a higher dimensional reality. And so there's that disconnect, right? And so they're not talking to each other anymore as twins as they used to be. And so that energetic architecture has been dismantled and destroyed, right? And so for Earth to reconnect, we are being called to help it in a way to bring that architecture back online, to reconstruct that architecture energetically within our own fields so that we might lend that energy to the collective, to Gaia, to expand and to bring that cohesiveness back again. So yeah, it's a reconstruction on many, many levels. So
Mhm.
it's what we are all seeing, through our own healing, through our own evolution. We are becoming sensitive to that. So you and I are having visions of that new earth, of what it might be, and how it's coming about. And this is how we are doing it, by slowly constructing, by slowly reconnecting, by slowly dissolving all that is not in alignment. And so it's all happening. So the faster we heal, the faster we let go of those old systems, those old paradigms, those old ways of thinking, the quicker we can ascend, the quicker we can help Gaia reinstate herself on that high level. Um, so yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, coming back into that, the words I would use sometimes would be coming back into that original divine blueprint of who we were supposed to be. That was tainted, that was violated, that was traumatized. And in the big picture and the small pictures for each one of us. And I think in different civilizations of, that we know about, like Lemurian and Atlantean, so that, of course, we know that Atlantis was wondrous and beautiful and joyous. And then they also got hijacked and twisted and inverted and things like that. So I see it throughout those things. And I'm seeing other people really like almost have flashes of like, why do I know that? I've never baked bread before. Or I've never gone fishing before, but I love it. I can
Yeah.
feel it. And I'm like, it's because it was another lifetime. So the things are coming in alignment
Yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
time and space and different histories and layers. And it's
We're
really
remembering. Yeah.
remembering, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. And
Yeah.
um, I like it. Sorry, I had to throw that in because I was
No, I
just
love it.
giggling at
I love
how
it. I
cool
love
that
it.
is to just almost remember some huge wisdom that you shouldn't know. It's because you walked this before. We've done this before,
Yeah.
and is this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we
Yeah.
walked this walk
Yeah.
for. All of
And
it.
I think you've hit on something very, very important, because a lot of people are remembering, but they don't necessarily know what to do with it. They're receiving these messages, they're receiving these images, they're receiving these concepts, if you will, but um, there's no understanding or ability to place it in a way that's cohesive, right? Because our galactic history has been removed from us, so where's the
Mhm.
point of reference of placing these images or these understandings that are coming to us, right? So without that point of reference, it's very hard to understand these changes, these shifts that are taking place. And so that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to be able to talk about these things, to be able to express ourselves through these visions, through these things that we are seeing, that we are hearing, that we are um, being able to be a part of, right, in our understanding, in our knowing, in our reality. So I think it's really important.
I do too. And that true knowledge, the true wisdom, the true stability, the true knowing, the true security
Frosted
that we
Fluke is in
wanted.
the same boat. Thank you. It is great to hear others in the journey. I don't have a lot of others around me for now. 100%. Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's so important to have those conversations, to be able to be on the same page with somebody that's going through this
Mhm.
experience, right? But just from looking back, it was very isolating for me in the beginning, but now it's like, I can turn around and talk to every other person that I meet, so it's becoming the in thing, so to speak, to be able to talk about this ascension process with a lot of people now. So the word is out there, that disclosure has happened, if you will, but we need to pick up the momentum and take it to the next level, to the next octave, if you will.
Yeah, to the next octave. I love it when you say that. And scrub out all that little fear stuff and the remembrance of the bad yucky days, um and remember who we are in our true divinity in
Yeah.
this body, in all the levels of who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. We have Laurie Chavez in the chat. Hello, hope all of you are doing
Lori,
well. Hi, Laurie.
I met Lori a long time ago in Sedona,
Nice.
years ago. She's a beautiful soul.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to bring forth, Melissa?
Um, I can't think of it if there was. And just remind everybody how you're working on the next octave and the next level. And
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So we have a grid work mission coming up, folks, on August 8th. And so this is my way of working up to the next octave. And the intentions for this mission is to work on the emotional body of the collective and Gaia and help, lend that helping hand, if you will, to rehabilitate, to reconstruct the fragmented, the distorted layers on the earth. And so this is our mission for the 8th. And basically to help activate, those energy bodies and just bring all of the things that are not in alignment to the surface so we could collectively wrap it in light, and with the help of our guides and ascended masters who we usually work with on these gridwork missions to help us remove it from the earth, so to speak, and from our reality. And so we're trying to lift those energetic layers, if you will, that are not in alignment with the physical body, with the emotional body. So this time we are targeting the emotional body. And as many of you might know, when you're working with the shadow body, the emotional body is the place that sort of is close to the physical body. And so it directly integrates emotions that we feel into the physical body. And so if we go through trauma, if you will, say, let's say, for example, that energy enters the physical body through the emotional body and sits within the physical body, and it becomes perhaps a disease within that trauma. And so if you don't deal with it correctly, and if you're not able to overcome that trauma in the correct way, then it sits in your body as a disease and it accumulates. And so this is what we're trying to do. And this is how we are hoping to alleviate all of those stuck areas and work, if you will, within the emotional body, and try to heal some of those hiccups, if you will,
For Earth, for Gaia.
for Gaia and for us. And so it's a a two-way street, if you will. We work on ourselves and we help Gaia while we're doing that. And so it's we're hoping to work with dissolve karma, clearing up all of those old contracts and agreements, all those parasitic relationships that we might have had, within our own circle, or even going into the galactic
Yeah.
contracts and agreements that have dogged us now for many centuries. And so when we go into those emotional states, it manifests as greed, as lust, as anger, as pride, as envy, all of those wonderful emotions, those negative emotions that get stuck in the body. And so we are experiencing this on many levels on the earth plane, the wars and the destruction, and the I guess the quest for wealth, and so all of these things are very much within our reality. And so as we move through this emotional body, we'll try our best to dissolve as much as we can, but moving through the grids as we do this. So we'll sort of go into all of those hot spots where things are really happening right now, into those war zones, into the waters, or wherever we see whatever comes up into over the next few days as we plan for this mission. And so we'll plant a few seeds and we'll work with the emotional body. So that is the intention. I do hope you will join us. I have a link in the description, so you're more
And
than welcome to join us.
remind people like I know a couple of my friends that I like that are kind of badass, really, in their own rights, strong and amazing and light and beautiful. They're like, oh, we can't do that. We don't know how to do it. And the truth is, we all would do it a little bit differently, but the truth, the way to do it is just hold the light, the love, the happiness, the joy, the freedom, the healthiness, the healing, the safety, the comfort. And so you kind of can't do it wrong if you have good intentions.
Yeah.
Um, so don't think you can't participate in
No.
and
There's no right or wrong way in doing this. And that's why as a group, we become that much stronger. And so, we are holding hands and we are sharing our abilities and our strengths. And we are all coming together with our collective guides, if you will. So, we have a lot of guides, we have a lot of ascended masters that are present during these grid work missions that have helped us in the past. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful experience from my perspective and how these missions have gone in the past. And, we have made change. So I feel
Big
very, very
change.
positive about this. So yeah. Yeah, so I hope you can join us. And, if you don't want to participate, that's just fine. You can just be there bringing your loving presence to the gathering. But we do have a good time. We laugh, we joke, we play music, we laugh, we meditate. So it's a really beautiful community, a beautiful sharing. Um, but we also do serious work. So, we sit in sacred space and we do the work as well. So yeah, do join us. I think Laurie is wanting some help. Melissa, do you want to do a quick reading perhaps? I don't know if that's what she's asking for. She says, I'm
Absolutely.
having difficulty. I'm late, but we'll watch the replay. Laurie, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat box.
There's been somebody's father or grandfather here the whole time. Um, and they just want to say that they're helping. They might not have been even that great. They've been gone a while, whoever this is. And you're on the right track.
Awesome. It's nice to have
Because
those confirmations.
it's that false rhetoric and narrative that we were taught, that we knew well, that tells us we're not going to make it. We can't do enough. We'll never figure it out. And there's something like, I see big transformation for Lori, and there's another person that just wants to say that she's really loved and appreciated, and finally she's in the right place where she's being heard and loved and can almost like rejoice and celebrate. I don't know. Yes. So does she
She
have a
says
question?
estrangement from our son.
That's what they want to talk. This grandfather person wants to talk about, because there's a connection, and something about what I'm picking up is the son doesn't hear you, doesn't understand, doesn't, and just gets pissed off and mad about it. And as family, things can happen like that, and doesn't understand. And you might not understand him sometimes too, because you came here to bring that. Just like Raquel was talking about, Venus has been rising, and the Gaia has been, and we don't didn't understand each other anymore. And they're twins. And so this is a time, and he's going to keep running for a while and being mad, like big mad. And there might just be something in him that you can ask, and that the breath of God, source, creator, whatever words you use, the divine universe helps him and holds him through this time of separation between you. And I feel
He
like
wants to know if she should reach out for counseling.
say that again. She wants to know if she should reach out
If
for
she should
counseling.
reach out to him for counseling.
I feel like he's going to be mad about it and try to chew your arm off for a minute if you try to. And that's because you're his mom's. And there's something about some of the other people that he didn't understand in life, and it will help. He will answer eventually. But I feel like it might have to come through gentle things like, oh, I'm going to help you heal and stuff. He's going to be mad at you. Does that make sense? I hope. Because I just feel like that's, when we get stubborn, and all of us hear it a different way than it's being sent, because he knows you love him, but he doesn't understand. And so he isolates himself pretty good, doesn't he? Because they're saying we could send all of us just great love and peace and that source energy for him, whatever is best for him. Because certainly we would never interfere or, poke into anyone's energy ever. but it just really feels like that it will be taken care of. His heart hears you, but he's still in that place. It's might just chew your arm off if you try to reach out too much because he thinks you're pushy and he thinks you think you know it all. And it's easy for you to say. And he's feels like he's slower at the remembering the what caused the pain, the anger, because he thinks in a cool perspective. He's brilliant and interesting, and he doesn't even believe it anymore. So um, it will work, but to maybe do it gently and not so busy. And let's hope his birthday's coming up, so we have to
You
remind
have a
him that,
reason
yeah,
to do
like,
it. Yeah.
hi, I have some things for you, or I want to take you to lunch. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to look at me. You don't have to like me. Some excuses. And I feel like this 8-8 Lionsgate energy is like really golden. That's gonna kind of help and like surround you with that like pure energy. However, I am seeing that he might be a little mad at you. You know what? He's gonna end up um later going, fine, I'll try that. I'll try that therapy, or I'll try something that he normally wouldn't like. And he's going to teach you something too, because this is part of your unfolding purpose together, the to bridge the gap and bridge the separation between your hearts and your minds. And he might be a little cranky or a little bit like "Wah," at you for a while, but he's hearing
He
you.
says, I don't feel the time is right. His father is pushing me. I worry, but can't make him change. And I think she's responding to the birthday in September. So, yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, I got that as well. It's probably a good way to connect, but very gently, like you said, perhaps in a letter, perhaps in a card, just make that very, very small step forward. Yeah, I got that too.
And blessings to his dad too, because it just feels like and all of us have some of this in our family. In fact, I have some work to do on my own, where we go "Ah, and we don't hear each other, and it hurts bad, and then it reminds us of what hurt the most. And so there's going to be a bridge, but it needs to be a little bit gentle. And some of us fire signs like me need to be a little more gentle, instead of being sassy and thinking they know everything. But I just feel like even if he's being manly and whatever, it just feels like he needs super soft, gentle, and you will hear each other eventually, and you will have him back in your life a little bit more eventually. And
Yeah, I'm getting,
um,
try to find the common ground that once existed between the two of you, that made your relationship a loving relationship. So reflect back on those times and what was it that built that bond? What was it that made you strong? And so find that once again and build on that.
yeah, yeah, it's almost like pull it together like shoelaces. Like if we forgot to in our shoelaces to put the shoelace through that hole, and this side is way long and it's shriveled up, and we're going to adjust it back and remind you and pull the pieces together and put the shoe that fits back on
Mm.
for both of you. And it's really going to be good. It just might take some time, and that's hard and disappointing. It's so hard when we want everyone to heal and change and come together and hear us, and vice versa. Um, but yeah, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, she says that would be
Slowly.
nice, but I am mad too. Don't know how we got so mad at each other.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens. Be kind to yourself, Laurie. Um, being a mom is a tough job, so be kind to yourself. like I said, try to build on that bond that you once had without the anger, without being mad at each other, just concentrating on love and that heart-centered connection that you once had. And that will be the true place to build from. So, perhaps that would be a way of getting back into good terms, talk to him and say, what was that thing that bonded us? What was that thing that we laughed about? What was that thing that we both felt, on the same level about? And, bring those conversations to light and say, this is how we used to be, and build on that.
Let's send him, Lori's son, just big, great, pure, true love. And whether his spirit, his soul wants it or not, he can be like, I kind of feel good, like loved. So we just wish you guys well and send big love to both of you.
Pick up the phone and call your mom.
Send him a little like spiritual text.
A spiritual nudge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom wants
Mom
to
loves you. That's very uncomfortable right now, but just a reminder, she's going to always be on your side
Yeah.
in the truth in the end and loves you.
Thank you, Laurie. That was beautiful. Thank you for bringing that forward and, being vulnerable. Thank you. Thank you. Mariana Ivanosevic says, can I get a message from Spirit?
Absolutely. I'm all of a sudden I'm seeing like Venusian energy and pearls and these energies. So it just feels like you have a really powerful, not only purpose and mission, but energy, and you've walked your walk in a lot of ways. And you have a lot of, it's like richness coming in, understanding, and people are gonna, I guess there's a theme tonight on this part too, like bridging between people, bridging the gap. But I feel like people are gonna hear you and understand you more, where in the past perhaps they underestimated you, or as human beings do, kind of say, they don't know, she's just a girl, or they don't know, and then really have some respect. So I'm feeling like a royalty of pure source energies, like in you and surrounding you, and you standing up in your mastery in many levels and layers very quickly and royally, and being heard, and something about speaking or being on, maybe you have a YouTube channel or something, sharing the truth, sharing your story, sharing your aspects or perspective, and it will help people. And there are animals around you, so I don't know if you like animals, but the animal collective, in that loving energy, Venusian energy, kind of feel you and hear you. So I think you might be able to expect some signs from some of the animals. Hope some of this makes sense, or if there's anything else you want to ask about.
Okay. I haven't got anything else, but I have a question from Frosted Fluke, who says, my name is David. If possible, I would really love to get a message from Spirit or the universe, if possible. And Mariana says, yes, I love animals.
I hear you. They're going to smooch you in your dreams and your consciousness, Mariana. And you're like in a really beautiful position, balanced position. Even if you can't feel it or see it right now, you're way further ahead than you know. And something about your toes, your feet. So if your feet have been feeling a little uncomfortable, or you're tired or whatever, put them up a little bit, or go get reflexology, or remind your feet, like, thanks for taking me everywhere. This has been pretty good. And those pieces and the nerve endings and the things that will keep, it's almost like I'm seeing her light up and go, woo, and bringing that which was in the lower trenches, stuck away, the fragments back into her, like lit up. Hey, David.
I'm getting salt bath. She needs to
Mm,
soak her feet in salt. So that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think it would help the world if everyone did that.
Yeah.
I just,
It just drains all of that energy into the earth, right? Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay,
um,
David.
David feels like he has some awesomeness too. So it feels like he thinks in a almost like a funny strategic way, which is not funny, like hilarious. It's like just everybody didn't get him either. And it feels like he has just a kind heart. And there is love for you. I feel love. Not that you don't have a partner or you don't have a, I don't know. But when I'm picking up, there's just big, great love for you. And if you feel like you've given up on some stuff, and also you have some cool knowledge and some about music, a little bit of the music, like you vibe with it. There are two people. I think the grandfather that is yours, or great grandfather or something, he was kind of interesting and new, kind of almost like secrety things. Um, and I don't even know if you knew this person, but there is a younger male that's passed also. And they're like, we've got your back. And you have love. And you get to almost like what I'm getting is that you get to let go of. I was telling Raquel earlier, like, I need to let go and whoa, and like have some comfort and remember what that felt like. And I'm seeing you be able to let go and go, fine, cool. You got some loved ones that have got you. I think you might also have a dog. I can't tell if that's the animals that we just were feeling, but anyway, we got an awesome crew here for you today, and you're really cosmic in your thinking, and what used to be, I don't know, negative in the past, it just feels like it's almost like you're gold now, and remember to nourish yourself well. And I don't even know, this heart thing is, you do have love coming in, and it's really beautiful. And you have some cool guides that are just almost like, yeah, he's an interesting being, and David is. And something about the woods, the forest, the trees. The trees have a message for you. And there's something about either having like a little piece of wood or cedar, or a little walking stick made out of wood, or a piece of wood that you like, or something that will help you. I don't know what that, I just am supposed to say it. I don't know what that means. You picking up anything? Oh, and he's got a nudge from, good job on working on that divine masculine. It's been hard, hard. And you've got a nudge from like the divine mother energy, the divine feminine energy. Like, thank you for being honorable and coming back around full circle. Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. He says, spot on. Thank you so much. Really. Yeah, I got that too. He seems like a very centered person, and is taking this ascension journey very, very seriously. So that's good, you know. And you were correct about the masculine energy as well coming forward, you know. It's so beautiful to see the masculine finally, you know, stepping forward and gaining that strength after being hurt and harmed for so long, you know. And so gaining that strength, gaining that awareness, gaining that sovereignty, once again, to be able to stand and say, okay, I have every right to be here as a healed human, as a healed ascending masculine. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. And it's going to spark a huge revolution, I think, you know, from all of the divine masculine that has been wounded and hurt in this world. So, you know, that plays into this emotional grid work mission that we are going to be doing. You know, because the divine masculine has been harmed on so many levels and has been dragged into the mire, if you will, you know, having to fight these wars and do all of the things that were not necessarily within their soul's purpose, within their soul's alignment. And so it's up to the individual now to stop dead in their tracks and say, enough is enough. You know, I'm doing a roundabout turn to what I was doing, and I'm now going to dedicate my life to this ascension journey, to my true soul's path. So it will take some doing, but, you know, as the masculine energy is strong, you know, innately strong, um, and innately divine, it will be a quick turnaround, I think. So, yeah, thank you for that. It's beautiful to see that happening.
Thank you, David. Yeah, if you were in
Thank
any
you.
of the programs, any SSP, any weird stuff, or I don't know, whatever, in positions in life that are a little bit roles, um, just you're a badass. Thank you for helping
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you,
Thank you for
David.
stepping forward. Yes, he says such kind words. Truly, thank you both from my heart. I resonate with all that you have said. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We have one more. Seeking Justice 996. I would really love and appreciate a message more than anything.
Okay. Seeking Justice 996. I'm picking up actually some circles. So to me, because I'm very visual, that means full circle, full circle, full circle, and things you haven't seen yet. And something about being isolated and almost like pointed at, um, persecuted, something like that. It feels like you're going to stand up and be your true self in beautiful ways. Also, there's something about you helping people as well. So I don't know if you are in roles that could help with justice. And I'm seeing you not call people names. I'm seeing you say, this is the clear truth. And I'm seeing you help people, almost like with like a hug, a cloud of comfort. And there's a male, you have some people in spirit that say thank you, that they hear your prayers for them, or um, intentions. I don't know, you have to use the word prayers, but they hear you, and he's okay. And you have you have found some justice in balance and brought it to our reality, and helped people quite a bit. And if you're mad about something, that's okay. It's going to be all right. Something about the water. Oh, which would be emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we were saying, like all of us have some of this. There's some pain and anger and hurt that it just, and
Yeah.
it. But I'm seeing like if you can go on a trip to the water, whether it's to the pond, to the lake, touch a raindrop when it rains, to the ocean, do it, because I feel like it's going to have a message for you, and the understanding and knowledge and truth is going to hit you where you're like, oh, I came here for this. I came here to bring this purpose and mission full circle, and this full circle. And I am seeing some loved ones, some people around you in spirit that are like, thanks, man, because they didn't have a voice.
Mm.
Also,
My heart
there's,
is so heavy. Needed this. I do often.
yeah, there's a mothering kind of love that wants to let you know they love you. So
Mm-hmm.
if you've been around narcissisms, or if you've been around block after block after block, some of us check off on the list, like, oh, let me take that on. Let me, and then we get here and we go, ooh, and it
Yeah,
wounds us a
that's
little
very
bit.
heavy. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing that too. Yeah. And it's doubly hard, I think, for people that have a very strong integrity, you know, And judging from the name of this individual seeking justice, it's very, very hard for people that know in their hearts that something is truly wrong. And so it's like you almost have to compensate, for the wrong that's been done, and say, okay, I'll live with this wrong for a bit. But it's like you almost absorb the fault, the wrong, the distortion into your own energy and say, okay, I will try to correct this. So I think, yeah, just be kind to yourself, seeking justice. Don't take on too much. If you do feel that you need to um, take on the wrongs, if you will, do it in small bites.
Yeah, and I am seeing freedom, and I'm also seeing you almost have alliances or someone that believes you, that hears you.
Yeah.
And likewise, where you get to not stay stuck in the suffering, but saying, I see you and I know you walked through some heavy, heavy stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's like new, I don't know about friendships, like having new BFFs or anything like that, but I feel like new friendships, new alliances, and you're going to hear differently. Like it's going to be tuned in differently. Like, maybe the Guardian Alliance, source, will be tuned in differently to you, and you'll be like, oh man, I understand, or I feel it. Also, you might want to write. So thank you for being here and being you, and everything's going to be all right in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I agree. The powers that be, I want them dissolved. I've seen too much. It's heavy. My babies were harmed too. My heart chakra needed this so badly, but thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's really important. Be kind to yourself, connect to your heart, and connect to the Creator. Um, you know, create that circuit between your heart, your higher self, and the Creator. And if things get too heavy, just surrender. Surrender that, just pack it in a box, if you will, and say, these are things that I cannot handle. And just lay it in front of the Creator and say, help me navigate this. Show me a way past this. And you will be guided. You will be guided, in a more gentler, more graceful way in overcoming these barriers. So, yeah, just trust in that. Know that there is a better way forward. There's no harshness, there's no difficulty in that place where we are headed to. So these are just small bumps in the road that we have to overcome. So yeah, just take it in your stride and know that the road ahead is more peaceful, more calm, more beautiful.
There's a young person that wants you to know that they're okay, that you're okay, that they've got you too. Like there's a connection between you. I don't know, friend, family, loved one. I don't know, guide. I don't know who it is, but they're like just thumbs up.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing so vulnerably in the chat. It's so beautiful to hear all of your stories. So thank you for being here. And thank you, Melissa, for your guidance. All right, everybody. I think we are coming to that time when we need to wind down. I hope this was fruitful and that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I know I had a great time.
Me too.
And yeah, we'll hopefully make this a regular show. So keep, subscribe to the channel, put a like on this video, share it with your friends, and do come back. We like
Yes,
to be
please.
here on Thursdays at 5:55 p.m. PST. So we'll do our best to be here on time, and hopefully we'll make this a regular show again, and continue with these conversations, and perhaps extend that community. It's so nice to be able to speak to like-minded folks like we have had in the chat today. So it's been really beautiful to share this space with all of you.
Really
Thank you,
beautiful. Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much for
Raquel.
being
And
here.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
all of our friends. Thank you. Mwah.
Love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you